Back to Monster Vision host Joe Bob Briggs and Return of the Living Dead on TNT.
All right, only 19 minutes into this baby, and I'm already in a better mood than I've been in months. I love this movie. I think it's got the perfect mixture of comedy and reality. It was written and directed by Dan O'Bannon, the guy who wrote Alien, and it was originally supposed to be directed by Tobe Hooper, who is best known, of course, for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist. And actually, I'm going to back up and tell you a little bit more about this movie. Night of the Living Dead, the original, the famous one, came out in 1968. And that was made by a couple of guys in the advertising business in Pittsburgh, George Romero, the director, and his writing partner, John Russo. So after it became the most successful independent horror film in history, Romero and Russo started fussing with each other over who had the rights, you know. And so what they settled on, this is really weird, but Russo got the rights to the script and to the words living dead. But Romero got the rights to the word dead used by itself. Are you following this? Only lawyers could come up with this. That's why George Romero's sequels are not living dead movies, they're dead movies. Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, not to be confused with Sam Raimi's Evil Dead series. And I wonder if Sam owns the rights to the words Evil Dead. I wonder what his lawyer says. So anyway, Russo, the forgotten partner in the series, he ends up owning Living Dead. So he writes up this story, the one we're watching. He wrote this in the early 70s. Then in the late 70s, he sells the story to a Chicago stockbroker. Are you following me? The Chicago stockbroker hires Dan O'Bannon to write a new script and Tobe Hooper to direct it. Tobe drops out. Dan takes over as director. They make the movie. The people who own Romero's Dead movies sue him anyway to prevent its release, saying it'll be confused with Romero's films. They fight about it. They settle it. It comes out a year late. End of story. I'll shut up now because we got the scene that almost single-handedly made Linnea Quigley a big star and seriously contributed to her being the scream queen that she is today. And Linnea, are you here?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here, Joe Bob.
Okay. Does this scene embarrass you, the one we're going to watch?
It depends who sees it.
Well, we're all going to see it now, honey. Okay, go. And, you know, when Day of the Dead did finally come out, the third in Romero's series, some people said the reason that that movie flopped at the box office is that this movie, Return of the Living Dead, came out first, you know, ruining zombie movies forever. Because after you've seen these cadavers, it's kind of hard to take the original one seriously anymore. So somehow in the early 80s, zombie America had changed, as you'll see right now, when our guest, Linnea Quigley, as the punk rocker Trash, writhes bodaciously on a tombstone.
Back to Monster Vision host Joe Bob Briggs and Return of the Living Dead on TNT.
All right, that was the lovely Linnea Quigley rising to Scream Queen immortality by dancing naked on a tombstone, or as naked as we're allowed to show you here on TNT. And here with us tonight is the #1 Scream Queen in the world, a gal who's made almost 60 movies, the star of that scene, Linnea Quigley herself, you know?
Wow,
A lot of people remember that scene, and you must get asked about that all the time, right?
Oh, yes. And when I tell them I'm the one that was on the tombstone naked, they're just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know, TNT may have excised a little breastage there, but I got to give credit where it's due because they did leave in excellent pickaxe to the twitching brain. They left that in the TNT version, you know, followed by another of my favorite scenes, the rabid weasels scene, in which the disembodied cadaver arm attacks the mortician played by Don Calfa. He's such the voice of reason, isn't he? You know, you can't burn the weasels alive. It's too cruel. Let's take them out into the parking lot and shoot them. So I don't know when the last time you saw this movie was, but did you catch the allusion to Ernie and Bert that they make?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, they do. Okay.
One's Bert and one's Ernie.
Yeah,
And,
which is very Sesame Street.
right.
Yes.
In this movie. Okay. You seem so demure, right? Can I use that word,
Yes,
demure?
you can use that word.
And every time I see you in the movies, you're some kind of man-killing, demon-possessed punk goddess. You're stereotyped as a man-killing, demon-possessed punk goddess, right?
Yes, I am stereotypically a demon-possessed punk goddess, but, you know, that's my evil twin that's really doing that.
Yeah, well, for the people that aren't familiar with your career, your first film is one of my favorites. It's another one where you're topless. You know what film I'm talking about? Your very
Start
first
with an
film.
F?
Yes.
Yes, I remember. Oh my God, I was so scared on that. Yes.
Fairy
You
tales.
like that film?
Fairy tales. I love fairy tales.
Oh my
yeah.
God. Do you have the
Yeah, it's
soundtrack
like-
and everything?
Oh yeah, it's like the the only exploitation fairy tale film, and you
Yeah.
play Snow White, right? Is it Snow
Very
White?
close. Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
sorry.
my
Well,
first
you know,
part,
I
I
was
was sleeping.
distracted because you're, it's the only. You're naked in that film. And
Oh
it
yes.
was- it was-
Yes.
And that was in your pre-victim days, though. It wasn't long
Mhm.
before you were getting decapitated and stabbed and prodded and attacked by a demon-possessed showerhead. What was that movie where you were attacked by the demon-possessed showerhead?
Oh boy. I can't remember the names of them. It was Witch Trap. That was it.
Witch Trap.
Witch
That's
Trap.
right. Okay. What have they asked you to do that you won't do?
Oh, I don't like to have like mucus in my nose coming down, things like that.
Well, nobody likes that.
Yeah, but now that I'm like, being a real actress, I can, maybe handle that.
So when was the last time they asked you to oil up for a role?
Oil up? Wait a minute.
Full special effects makeup.
Oh God, it's been a while. 'Cause
Okay, so you don't do that
really, I don't, I don't really like to do that.
You tell me, you were just in a big budget movie like last week.
Yesterday actually.
What?
Yeah. Played to the Bone, where I got to
Uh-huh.
play a OD hooker.
With Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson and Antonio Banderas.
That's great.
So that was fun.
Okay, well, before we get too sidetracked, we better get back to the flick.
Uh-oh.
And no, you stay here. We're going to talk to you at the next break. But I just wanted to see. I noticed that Ernie and Bert reference because I study these movies carefully for literary allusions. I'm not just looking at the scene where you dance naked on the tombstone. Some filmmakers make allusions to Hitchcock, Billy Wilder, Jane Austen, Shakespeare. Not Dan O'Bannon. Dan alludes to Sesame Street because the man knows his audience. So I don't mean to offend you.
But no, but
you're the
they're
queen
the
of
ones
these movies.
paying the money.
That's
so,
right.
Back to Monster Vision host Joe Bob Briggs and return of the living dead on TNT.
Frankly, Bert, I think you acted precipitously in cutting up the corpse. Ernie has all the best lines in the movie, doesn't he? We've got the gal with the best something else here with us, Linnea Quigley. And Linnea, there's another B-movie star in the cast with you, Jewel Shepard.
Yes.
Jewel is the one with the bad pompadour, which does not do her justice, really, because she's very beautiful. But she wrote a book where she interviewed you, right?
Yes. Invasion of the Bee Girls.
Invasion of the Bee Girls, where she listed all of the great horror film actresses of the 80s, and you were one of them. And you worked with Jewel a lot, right?
Oh yeah, we met before that, like doing like different posters for movies before they were sold in the old days, where they would like get a bunch of girls together and bikinis and things and sell the movie on that.
That's not the old days. They still do that.
Oh, okay.
All right, you guys are kind of dressed like punk rockers in this flick, and in several of your movies they cast you that way. But what some people don't know is that you were a punk rocker, right?
Yes,
With a
I
band in L.A.
Mhm.
What was your band?
It was called The Skirts, which
Yeah?
was
Were
all
you
girl.
good?
I thought so. I thought we were really good.
Did you sing or play bass, or what did you do?
I played guitar and I
Uh-huh.
sang.
And you played like just around L.A. or?
We played
Took
like
it on the
different.
road?
Yeah, we played different places besides L.A. Palm Springs and different places.
You
like
were
that.
really bad girls?
Well, not really. I mean, we get scared when the germs would come in and like try to trash everything, and but we pretended to be bad.
The band.
The bad, yeah, the
Okay.
germs. Remember the
'Cause-
germs?
Okay. But that was before you became a Scream Queen. And now when people hire you to be a Scream Queen, what is it they're looking for? Obviously, you're beautiful, but what's the secret to being a good victim hero? Because you're always a victim and a hero, right? You get picked on, then you pick back. So what do you have to do?
Well, when you start out, you're always the victim, so you die fairly soon, and you have to be able to die well, scream well, run well, and then you become the one that gets to beat them up. So you get to like live through the movie, and you just have to, kick ass.
And you have to be able to wear that special effects makeup and
Ugh!
still look good, right?
Oh no, you can never look good in that.
Yes. You look good in that, Linnea.
Ah!
You ever get tired of being a Scream Queen, though?
No, I like it.
Yeah?
I like it because as a kid, I liked to watch the movies where the women would be the strong ones beating up monsters, or they'd be running from them. I like that whole thing.
Well, I think this flick is one of your best flicks, and we're going to get back to it now. And, Jewel wrote another book, I should mention this, her memoirs. It's called If I'm So Famous, How Come Nobody's Ever Heard of Me? which is one of the greatest titles. I can actually relate to that because you're that guy. You know what I say? You know what I say when people say to me, I say, yes, I am. I am that guy. I think of it as a compliment. You know, it's better to be that guy than to be what they used to call me, which was, you look like that guy.
Oh.
Back to Monster Vision host Joe Bob Briggs and Return of the Living Dead on TNT.
And so Linnea Quigley realizes her fantasy of sex and death as she is devoured by old man zombies. Linnea, thank you so much for stopping by. Now, I never did ask you to do one thing. You have to scream for us.
Okay.
Yeah, will you do it?
Yes, I will.
I didn't think you'd do it.
Yeah, of course I'm going to do it for
Okay.
you. Okay, ready? Plug your ears.
Man, that's why you get the big bucks. I'm telling you. What's your website?
www.rundlevision.com.
Rundle Vision? R-U-N-D-L-E Vision?
Yeah.
.com?
.com.
That's your website? It's a great website.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us, Linnea. Come back. For your
Okay,
next
I
movie.
will. See you
Okay.
later.
All right. honey.
Okay, bye-bye.
All